I'm Nick Grove at the Morningstar Individual Investor Conference for 2014, and I'm joined by Morningstar's John Lykos. John, where are you seeing many of the opportunities at the moment within the hybrids market?
Nick, I think we've seen a broad widening recently in the last couple of months in terms of hybrid pricing. So we're starting to see opportunities appear. For a while there, it got a little bit tight. So we're really liking some of the banknotes, particularly some of the older style banknotes, and even some of the higher quality corporate issuers. So that's probably our preferred space for the time being.
And John, what are just some of the main risks that investors should be aware of when it comes to hybrids?
Yeah, it's a good question, Nick, because I think a lot of clients, unfortunately, still misunderstand the risks, and as a result of that, they misprice the actual product. Complexity risk is key. Again, these are complex products, and that's why we always encourage investors to seek advice before they buy. They have the largest component for us in terms of risk pricing is the credit risk. So we want to make sure that clients are adequately compensated for credit risks. There's a liquidity risk as well. They're not as easy to maybe exit as an equity might be. And even, I think, more recently, the newer style notes have risks that the older style notes didn't have, particularly amongst the banks and the insurance companies. They have what they call the non-viability or the capital triggers. And these are two new risks which we're finding a lot of clients really aren't yet up to scratch with. But they're risks that we clearly identify in our research. But that's probably a list of some of the key risks.
And just finally, John, in the near future, who are going to be the major issuers of hybrids?
Yeah, good question. That it's been a bit of a changing face since they evolved in Australia. There was more corporate issuance as opposed to recent. Well, there was more corporate issuance historically as opposed to recently because of the treatment that S&P affords some of these issuers. Now they are afforded 50% debt, 50% equity. It used to be 100% equity. Some of the corporate issuers don't want the entire amount hitting debt on their balance sheet. So we've seen a bit of a slowdown from the corporates. What we're seeing is a continual ramp up from the financial institutions. Regulatory requirements all over the world are demanding bigger capital levels for the banks. We've seen this trend in the last few years, post the GFC. We expect this trend to continue. So we expect the banks to continue to dominate issuance, and there'll be some peripheral kind of corporate insurance issuance as well.
John, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you, Nick.
I'm Nick Grove for the Morningstar Individual Investor Conference in 2014.